A very, very good evening to everyone out there in the Super League universe. It is Friday night football. Get the beers in, or the wines, or whatever it is you want to be drinking, and tell Eunice she can go do one, because we will not be stopped. Games up and down the country being postponed, but not the Super League. We might be delayed, but we are never cancelled. And many of you, particularly in your younger years, as you keep telling me you were getting older, would have gone out of a Friday night hoping to pull an absolute worldie. Well, thankfully for you guys, I have pulled an absolute worldie, because joining me in the studio tonight is everyone's favourite four. It is Jens. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, mate, for that introduction.
It is the least you deserve, sir. The absolute least. Absolute pleasure having you on, as always.
Pleasure to be here, mate.
And I put a. We were just saying off air. Put a tweet out asking what everyone was drinking, and you were just telling me you've got a local delicacy there this evening.
Yeah, I'm gonna support. You gotta support the local ones. We got some quality beer in Norway, so we're lucky in that way.
And you were also saying you're looking forward to trying some British fare very soon, as you're actually travelling over in March. Was it you said?
Yeah, we've booked a weekend in Liverpool. We're gonna land in Manchester. Hopefully, the storm is long gone by then.
Oh, it will be.
Gonna have a meet up with the representatives of the Fulchester board as well. Not going to go into details of what's going to be discussed, but surely the media is going to pick it up. But we're looking forward to it. Going to watch some football and just drink some beer and have a good time.
Well, I'm sure as many of you, as many people as possible, will be there waiting for your plane to arrive, and there'll be a massive fanfare for your arrival. Just a quick overview, if we can, Jens, before we start tonight's action. You're currently sat 10th, 3 points off the playoffs, and currently dealing with the most hostile board I've seen in the Super League, who every week, if you win, it's meh, that was all right. If you lose, it's right, we're going to sack you if this carries on.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be some sort of jealousy or something, because if you really wanted to sack me, you should have done that a long time ago. Could have done that like all 3 seasons we've played. We've been having periods been bottom and been the worst team in the league, and now we're actually in with a half decent shot of making the top 6, and still they're whining every time we don't win a football match. So it's a hard board to work under, and we just gotta do the best out of it, really.
Quick look at the table. Seeing Devils top isn't necessarily a surprise when you consider what a lot of people, including yourself, I believe, think about them as a squad. Bostock are having a very, very good season. They're up in second. Burn and Fulchester then making up the mix as well. Not so much of a surprise either. But then you see Dudley Hill and Churchtown in 5th and 6th. Loco perhaps less of a surprise given their track record, although a lot of people think their squad is weaker. But then Astor, Leddersford have been resurgent under Alf, yourself, Sloths, Haggis. Everyone's still very much in the mix. It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it just proves it's the most competitive league in the world, doesn't it? I mean, all teams, maybe except from our Danish friends at the bottom there, have a decent shot of making the top 6. Top 4 as it stands now is the 4 teams I thought was the biggest favorites before the season starts. So it's no surprise to me at all to see those 4 at top. And then the rest of the league is so close that any of those other, is it 10 teams? No. Or except yourselves maybe can have a chance.
Completely agree. And Mr. Edwards there saying in the chat, the race for 6th is so tight. We seem to say it every year, but it's true. Interesting put out for me is that Leddersford still have not had a single draw. this season. On your own team, then, I mean, your goal difference is 0, proves that you score enough, but you concede too many for your own liking, I'm sure. Are you still feeling quite optimistic? I mean, we're only just over halfway.
It's been a special start or first half of the season because I think we actually started the season really well. We didn't get the results we wanted, but most of those 6, 7 first games, we were clearly the better side. We just couldn't finish our chances well enough, and we concede. I've seen the stats that the genius that is Swan has put out as well. It shows that the opposition needs a lot less chances to score on us than we need to score on our opposition. But then we got a couple of wins in a row not so long ago, and then suddenly a season that looked done already maybe isn't finished after all. So yeah, I'm pissed, Ryan. I should have introduced you to that. I am. It's only going to get worse.
And I'm delighted to say, as long as your voice holds out, you've also prepared some musical accompaniment for tonight's fixtures as well, haven't you?
I've written a short fan chant for all the teams managers in the league. A couple of them are. It's important to remember that I wrote these while I was sober, so a couple of these can be difficult to sing out, but I'll give it a shot.
So the first match, I've had a request for Asta to be on early because Tato, although perhaps not vocal tonight because he's actually out enjoying himself this evening, he's trying to have a sly watch of YouTube on in the background, even if it's without volume. So we're going to start with Asta. Plus, he is always generally very, very late in the program, so it'll be nice for him to go on early. And this is the Asta all out formation. Jens. He's gone 3 up top with Roberts, Rossini, and Owen. Captain Rayed out on the left wing. Boa Morte, who's been promoted from the reserves, starts at right wing. The Scallion Johnson partnership continues. What do you think of this 11?
I really like it because I think it's really Tato-ish. Full on attack. A little bit too symmetric maybe for his taste, but I think it's a team that can score a lot of goals. Boa Morte is not necessarily I'm a big fan of him in the game, but I liked him as a player. He's like a Premier League classic Fulham. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. He's got those 2 defensive midfielders doing a really good job this season. So if he scores enough goals, they can probably do a good enough job there to win him games.
No, I completely agree with that. Particularly on the 2 holding midfielders, who I think have been superb this season. Quick look at the head-to-head record between the 2, and it is dead level as well. 2 wins, 3 draws, and obviously 2 defeats. Scored 7, conceded 7 each. Not necessarily the highest scoring affairs, and generally speaking, the home team gets some form of result, which is good news for Churchtown, whose team we will have a look at now. They actually, I think this is the first time this season, go completely unchanged in terms of a starting 11. The only alteration, because Dimble always has to change something, is John Terry is back from suspension and gets a place on the bench.
Yeah, he's stumbled onto something that seems to be working with Brogink and Marcelo Salas, who absolutely demolished me last time out, as you can see. And I mean, it's about time. He was giving not a really good squad, but we've been hearing all sorts of praise on how he's performing in a network game, and it's nice to see it. To see it in the Super League as well, and I think he was sitting 6th now, and yeah, why not? He's definitely in with a chance of making the playoffs.
No, completely agree. So for the first time tonight, then, if I can ask you, do you know what? I was actually worried that was going to be a ghost game because Tato asked to be early. Can I ask you for the first time tonight, then, for a score prediction, please?
I'm going to go with a Desmond here, I think.
You're
2-2.
going to start with a Desmond. Well, that would be an exciting start for the neutrals. Greaves is saying a draw would be nice here. I'm just going to pull up the Astor link just in case Tato hasn't been able to watch live, because he did give me some very basic sub instructions for half-time only. Let's kick off then and see if a Desmond is on the cards in game one. Astor starting quite quickly. But the informed Churchtown now starting to come for themselves. And Salas scores his third goal in 3 games since signing. Agahawa also on the score sheet. And 2 goals in a minute is not what Tato wants to see. Alpha's actually predicted... he's predicted Northern Burn to beat Astor 2-0. Northern Burn aren't even playing. Michael Owens pulled one back on half an hour. And it is 2-1. So your Desmond is very much on the cards. As still more chances come for the away side. Look, and Michael Owens equalised. It is 2-2 at half time.
Fucking hell.
What a start to the night this is. A proper ding-dong in the Super League. I mean, we said the head-to-head records were equal. This match is dead level in terms of shots on goal, shots on target, and goals scored. Remarkable first half of football, Jens.
Yeah, can only go one way, this show from after this half. Well, it seems very even. And I'm having I'm having some difficulties reading the text in the game. It's kind of like...
Even I'm having difficulty. I tend to struggle with Churchtown games reading what's going on.
Yeah, but it seems to like jump. For example, it was 2-2. I didn't even see the goal being scored. So, but it seemed to me, anyways, as if Churchtown, as they were leading 2-0 as well, started the game better, and then Astor hit back twice. Effective teams, four attempts both each, and 2 goals. So
plenty for both managers to think about on the positive and negative. Yes, definitely. I know Tato, and I've got your instructions up. So Oliver Kahn getting a 5 is not what... I'm not sure I've seen Dimble yet in the chat, to be fair. Oliver Kahn getting a 5 isn't exactly... Oh, there he is. Keep it is, please. Very quick there. We'll tick over, and I'm guessing... Wow, I did get the instruction, any player on a 5 at half-time, sub them immediately. So are we going to see the goalkeeper being changed at half-time?
It's just been posted in the comments, so maybe it'll...
It'd be interesting to see if he is going to replace the goalkeeper at half-time. He's also very interested in the performance of Michael Owen, who is exceeding... This has already been a pleasure. He's exceeding expectation, Michael Owen, who normally, as you'll know from his full Chester days, getting a 6, but 2 shots on goal, 2 on target. Edwards must have sank a few already. Tato, you are about, so if you'd like to confirm the substitutions, or do you want me to go with the instruction you'd left? Would you be changing the goalkeeper in this situation, Jens?
Maybe. No, probably not. Cavaliero is shit. So I think Tato is probably busy talking to
one of the school moms.
Some middle-aged school mom, yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Marshall. Nice to see you with us on this Friday evening. And there is going to be an Astor change, but it's not the goalkeeper. Zizi Roberts is the man coming off, with Lee Chun-So coming on.
Yeah, Zizi Roberts has fallen a little bit out of flavor for Tato. Hasn't been able to reproduce what he did last season.
Swap him with Rossini, so Rossini is central. Rossini already is central.
Yeah, you see he's drunk as well.
Yeah, he has had one too many. So we will kick off the second half. Let's hope for more goals.
Yeah.
As the second half kicks off, Churchtown starting quickly, trying to regain the lead. And there's a red card, and it's Honsho. Now, Vrede has been excellent this season, but would you at this stage be going one at the back with just him there?
I would definitely not. Tato is probably crazy enough to do it. If he does it, I think he's going to lose. I think I think he's got to take off a striker.
It would offer that nice sort of diamond formation in a defensive unit, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe, but I think the game sometimes works this way. If you get a sending off and you can pull a attacker and still have attacking threats, then it can work in your favor. So I think the natural thing to do here would be to pull Rossini and to put Vasuk together with Rede at the back.
In fairness, I believe you're right, especially with Michael Owen on a hat trick.
He's pulling Scally.
He is pulling
He's on the
Scally, so
booking
he's
as well.
going 2 DCs, 1 DM.
Yeah, with Scally on a 6 and on the booking as well, it's always a chance that he can get sent off as well. So I can understand why he does that.
Absolutely. So let's kick off. Only 5 minutes gone in that second half when the red card happened. I believe it was for a second yellow. Approaching the hour mark, still Churchtown coming forward, Bruges with a chance. Astor on the counter though, they still look dangerous, having all those players up there. And Lee Chun-So it was that time, I believe. And we will slow it down slightly on 72 minutes. Still very much either side can win this, both capable of winning this. You'd imagine Churchtown at home with the man advantage will fancy themselves. Vrede intercepts though from Salas. Now Emerson, but they just can't seem to get clear. I say that as they come forward. Asta, Rayed with the free kick, and Chun-So with the rebound. But bobbles loose, and Churchtown managed to survive in a corner this time. Mendes de Silva getting in the way. And they're just clearing it now. The 10 men really piling the pressure on as we move into the last 10 minutes. A few minutes go by with nothing happening there. Here come Churchtown, though. Michael Owen getting involved.
To define, just keep assist here.
A lot of the playoff hopefuls or the playoff chasing teams quite happy with this 2-2 at the moment. But here come the home side again. Volley from distance. And we move into injury time. One last chance, maybe. Boa Morte. Still Boa Morte. And Rossini, fingertip save. Would have been a fine goal. And the corner doesn't even get to be taken. It's full time. It ends as it was at half time, 2-2. And Asta, considering they had the man disadvantage, created more, had more one more on target. A draw was probably fair, but Asta might think we could have won that.
Yeah, especially as they had 10 men for almost a half and were playing some decent football after getting that sending off as well. But I don't think he'll be too disappointed with a point away to Churchtown. Churchtown on good form. Probably Dimble a little bit more, but he still didn't lose, and he's still on good form. Didn't lose for some games, so I think it's a game that both managers can. It's a result both managers can swallow.
No, definitely. Salas maintaining his good form. Brujic not scoring for the first time since signing for Churchtown, but Agahauer was on the score sheet. Just looking at those ratings, quite a consistent performance. Salas was the shining star. Khan's performance certainly improved for Churchtown from where it was at halftime. A lot of positives there.
Yeah, and it's nice to see. I was going to say it's nice to see is getting tunes out of Mendes da Silva as well. He's at a point in his career where I tend to buy him in a home save, and he's a really good player, and he's been really good for Dimble in this change of fortunes lately.
No, completely agree. And just before he disappears, big call it was to bring Luis Boa Morte straight into the team from the reserves, having not really impressed in the reserves, but he comes in with a man of the match performance despite Michael Owen's 2 goals.
Yeah, absolute legend. 1 assist. He's been very throwing himself into 10 tackles as well. Absolutely. It's not normal as a right wing. Yeah, very good game from him, and he has to be very pleased to get Owen on the score sheet and to get Owen to score twice. I mean,
it's very much a rarity in the Super League.
Yeah, it is. I thought he was going to score more for Fulchester, but to be fair to him, he's been pulled at half time almost every match. So yeah, I think it's a result that both managers can live with.
Lovely. Let's move on to game number 2 of the evening, and it brings us to Bostock Stanley against Leddersford. Now, Alf, since he came in, he had those 3 wins in a row, but that was halted very much last time out with a 3-0 defeat away at Devils. So this is a big game for him. Was it just a stutter, or will Bostock, who are also, they're currently riding high, currently second in the league, will Bostock also put a real dent in their playoff hopes? This is the team that Alf has gone with. It's the same tactic as last time out, a couple of personnel changes. Kiwi returns to the squad in place of Brown. Ambrosini returns in place of, I want to say, Patsazoglu? Yes. And Scholl is replaced by Gian Cheddar, and Amoroso comes in as well in the attacking midfield positions. Do you like this 11 that Alf selected?
Yeah, I do. I'm not a fan of. I am a fan of Amoroso, but maybe not in this save. Johnny Shedda is the mystery man that everyone found out about right away. Other than that, it looks decent. Unfortunately for Alf, as good as he is as a manager, I can't see him taking points away to Bostock. As strong as Bostock is right now, but he's had a good start, and even if he were to lose tonight, I think he's still in with a long shot. I have the song. I forgot. I have the song for Alf here.
Oh yes, sorry, we forgot about the songs because we didn't do them for Asta. But yes, please, Leddersford song.
It's okay. So it goes like this. Oh, my name is Mr. Alfred, and the Leddersford I run. In my spare time, I shag the life of Mr. Capello out of fun. Sha-la-la-la. I can't read, I'm drunk. A couple of the other ones are easier to read, though, so it'll be better.
That was beautiful. Beautifully sung.
Thank you, mate.
Let's have a look, if we can, then, at Bostock, who Liam Pugh is unavailable against his parent club. A couple of injury concerns to Cece still out, Neville still out, Welsh also. So Decor comes in place of Welsh to partner live. Other than that, it's unchanged. Anelka, Del Piero, and Jacques continue to be the attacking threat here. What do you? I mean, I said at the start that Bostock have been fantastic this season. They've been on a really good run themselves. Into, I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9? Have I missed one there? Only 1 defeat in 9 games.
And who did they lose to? I forgot.
Who did they lose to? I wonder.
Was it? It was Hulls, yeah.
It would have been Hulls, yes.
Yeah. Just like in every network.
I was like, where was it? It was
just
further
like in
down the list.
every network game we played.
What do you make of Bostock's not just their 11, but their season to date?
I think Scott is one of the people that knows most about this game in the league. I think he's a really, really astute manager. His business were criticized a bit.
But he knows.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, he got 2 of the best wingbacks in the league in, and he's still. I mean, he put his confidence in Anelka, and he's repaid him, and more than that. And it's just pure. It's just solid. Those DMCs. Welsh isn't there today, but that core can do just as good a job. Lee Boyer, essentially one of the few players that can dominate games by themselves in the middle of the park. So the only question I have really is he's had a tendency of dropping out of form a little bit towards the end of the season. But if he can keep this momentum up, then he's definitely got a chance of winning the whole thing, even though I'll still hold Devils as a big favourite.
And before kick-off, does Scott have a song as well?
Let's see. Oh, fucking hell, it's the longest one. Okay, we try. Right. Oh, Scotty Sadler is the manager of Bostock. Plays Anelka, Boyer, Roberto, and Ashley Light the Rock. Oh, Scotty Sadler is the Bostock Stanley man, and he might just leave this tournament with a trophy in his hand.
Stunning work, Jens. Absolutely stunning.
It's gonna ring out on the what's the name of the stadium? The Squirrel Park after they beat Lettersford 4-1 tonight.
4-1 is your prediction. Very nicely done. Straight in there without even being asked. Let's kick straight off there to see if this 4-1 does happen. It's Amoroso who gets the one for Ledisford early doors, 14 minutes in, the away side lead. And that looks to have woken up Bostock. Jacques scores. That's it. I think that's like the 5th time this season Jacques has scored and it's been disallowed. I'm not sure what he's doing or what Anelka's doing. It's as if every time he gets the ball, he's just like, no, I'm running offside now. Both sides having chances, but Bostock failing to convert legally. The crowd are in disarray about your songs. You got Ryan saying that you've lost the plot, whereas Ian saying you're on fire. Ledisford with a chance to make it 2 before half time. They don't manage to score. They do lead though as the half time whistle goes, and deservedly so. Looking at those stats.
Yeah, very impressive. I still see Bostock Stanley turning it around, but it's been a really impressive half from Alf, who's clearly done his homework. According to Ryan, I've never had a plot to lose, so that's a really weird comment from him. I'll. You have to keep in mind that I've had a couple or 5 too many. So if something weird comes out, then you can blame it on that.
Just having a quick look here through the home side stats. You mentioned Bowyer has the ability to dictate a game on his own. He's struggling in midfield so far. Del Piero not as involved as he'd like to be. Anelka not necessarily up to his usual standards either, although Alf pointing out in the chat that his side just do not keep clean sheets. There are options on the bench, so plenty of opportunity for Bostock to alter things, but Scott is going as is. Would you be doing the same in this situation?
Yeah, why not? I think he needs to get his wing backs more on the ball if he wants to. I mean, that's a spot on the field where they can dominate Lettersford. So hopefully for them, they'll get Roberto and Cafu more involved.
Interestingly, Jean Cheddar equally not overly impressing in midfield. So it's as if both teams are bypassing central midfield and playing more out wide. Equally interesting, Petkov rating a 6 when it was Cafu, also the lowest rated of the wide Bostock players. But it is Alf's team with the lead. He does play a lot of defensive-minded players. When you consider obviously Ambrosini, Paredes in sort of centrally as well. Although they don't keep clean sheets, they do have the ability to with a lot of these players on the pitch, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Both Ambrosini and Paredes are ex-Schools players, and I probably shouldn't have let both of them go. It's obvious that the Bostock players are intimidated by the sign of the big mystery man Gianni Chedda, and they just play the ball away from him, really.
There's something about Alf's Ledisford, despite his well-publicised advancing years himself, they kind of remind me of like a 15-year-old Russian athlete at the Winter Olympics who's clearly drugged up but winning awards anyway.
I'm sorry, mate, I fell out. What did you say? One more time.
Nothing. It's fine. I was making a joke about a Russian athlete on drugs, that's all.
Ah, yeah, the little girl.
The little girl, yeah. You're getting many comparisons to Josh Groban for your singing abilities as we kick off the second half.
Way too kind.
Ledisford, it was with the first attempt of the first goal of the half, and they go 2-0 up, and it's Petkov. Bostock, Anelka scores his 10th of the season to pull one back. Are we in for another possible 2-2 draw here? Although a penalty's been awarded, Kivu takes and scores, and Ledisford a 3-1 up. You did predict 4-1, but you predicted it the other way. 76 minutes on the clock. No point slowing this down just at the moment, unless Bostock can score. Here's a Roberto. No, doesn't go in. I'm still coming forward the home side, looking to do something. 2 minutes going to be added on. We're into injury time though. Another chance wasted, and there is the full-time whistle, and Ledisford come out 3-1 winners.
You know what? He's gonna do it. He's gonna get to the playoffs and he's gonna outmaneuver every one of you. That old fox.
And the interesting thing, because I know this comes up a lot with regards to Alf, what has to be said is he does a base formation. He doesn't change any player instructions. He doesn't submit a tact file. He gives me a base formation and just asks me to move players around and sticks to what the AI sets up for it.
He's a fucking legend. He knows something we don't. Look at what he's done since coming in as a Ledisford manager. I mean, Alf Bridge, I salute you.
That is a stunning result. Let's have a look at the home side first. And with the exception of Del Piero, if you were looking just at the stats and didn't know the score, you would imagine that was a team that had at least got a point. I mean, there's a few 8s there. Anelka improved his performance to a 9 in that second half. I mean, there's not a lot really gone badly wrong there, just having a quick flick through, is there?
No, I think as I've alluded to in the halftime as well, he needs Roberto and Cafu to take hold of the matches and to put crosses in, and they've possibly not been involved enough. Anelka has 2 shots, 2 on target, and scored 1 goal, so he's been doing his business. But the 3 players we talked about before the match, Roberto, Cafu, and Boyer, has failed to impress, and that's cost them tonight, I think.
And as for Ledisford, Taibbi getting man of the match for his performance, for all the praise that these players are going to get for that performance, you can't deny the performances of Taibbi. I think it was last time out I was talking about him as well. Very much a strong presence in this team. Paredes, you mentioned that he.
Can you click on him? I'm sorry, mate. Can you click on Taibbi?
Yes, absolutely.
He could be Alf's grandson. And he's still on almost an 8 average. It's just incredible.
You mentioned at halftime Paredes and Ambrosini, former Halls players. Paredes getting a 9 tonight. Very impressive performance from him.
Yeah, they've been rock solid. I mean, you can't put your finger on anything if you beat that Bostock Stanley side away from home. So well done to Alf. Back to the drawing board for Scott. I don't think he's going to be too hysteric about it. He's going to go about with his business and probably get a win next time out.
We certainly don't want Halls next. Let's go to the top of the list. Actually, what time are we on? Have I just seen that? Oh yeah, Martin is here. Martin asked if we could hold fire for a bit. He wasn't sure he was going to make it straight away. So let's go to Fulchester versus Gazelles. We know that Ryan and Macca are currently sat on the sofa holding hands, Lady and the Tramping it with some spaghetti and meatballs, watching it on the big 65-inch TV. Let's have a look at the away side. It's been a tough return for Martin. This is what he's gone with this time. When you compare, it's the same formation. There'll be some tactical tweaks from last time out, but there's definitely some personnel changes as well, including Asamoah, who's been called up from the reserves as part of the reserve swaps and goes straight into the team. So Martin will be hoping for a similar return that Tato got from Boa Morte.
Yeah, he got a point last time out, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, because and he changed from the 4 at the back and went 2 at the back, and that's obviously a smart move. There's a reason why everyone plays 2 at the back in the Super League. Mm-hmm. But I don't buy that thing that everyone says that the only reason, the sole reason he lost a few games at the start was purely because he was playing 4 at the back. I think he had a message a couple of weeks ago in the Super League chat where he said that the Danish were the best Vikings, and if you actually mean that, then then there's no surprise that you're bad at what you're doing. But let's see. The tactic looks still it's attacking, and I like the tactic. I can't see it getting anything from that legendary duo of Ryan and Macca.
There are not many teams who will have this sort of head-to-head record against Fulchester in the league.
But
I
there's
appreciate
me.
this is a different Gazelles now, but there are not many teams that will have this sort of record.
No, it's us, and that's probably it. That's pretty impressive. I don't think it matters too much tonight. I think Fulchester has better players, and I mean a manager that's been with the squad for a longer time. So I think this is going to be a home win.
Does Martin have a song?
No, it was hard for me to make up something with for Martin, so I decided to just to take the chorus of the Denmark 1998, I think, World Cup supporter song, and I'm going to sing it with as much of a Danish voice as I can.
Okay.
So you can hear how when they talk, it sounds like they have a potato up their throat.
Is this like when English people do impressions of the Scottish accent?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So it goes like this. Vi er rådne, vi er hvide, vi står sammen, side om side. So Martin can confirm if that's 98 or if it was Danish at all. I don't know. I can't understand a single thing they say. So
let's have a look at Fulchester. I'm not sure whether he classes as assistant manager or director of football or what, but Ryan was given the reins for this one, and the message that came through was they were going for it. And it's a very attacking looking team, only 3 defensive players. Well, I suppose if you include Prutton as well, 4 defensive players. What do you think to this 11 and tactic?
I'm a little bit more concerned now. I hear that Ryan's been submitting the team. I think he's lost the plot, but it looks very much a Macca-ish formation. I do like the inclusion of Arca. I think he's really good, especially a couple of seasons in. And it's just Fulchester solidity all the way, isn't it? Shevchenko's been scoring. That's been their main issue. They haven't had a striker scoring enough goals. But if he can keep scoring goals, then they're gonna be top 3 for sure, I think.
No, absolutely. Let's go to the.
We have
yes.
We have
do you have a song? Is it a song for Macca or is it a song for both of them?
No, it's a song for Macca. For me, Ryan has nothing to do with the success of Fulchester. It's just there for the I don't know. It goes like this: Chris Macca, oh, Chris Macca, oh, the Peroni champion will lead the C-suite men.
Lovely. I'm sure he turned that up very loud on the TV.
I'm going to sing that in a bar in Manchester the 4th of March as well.
I'm sure everyone will be singing that in Manchester. A score prediction, and I know you've already said home win, but an actual score prediction, please.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-0 Fulchester.
2-0 to Fulchester. Shevchenko with an early chance to make it 1, and Fulchester with a couple of chances in the first 5 minutes there, but Gazelles that take the lead through Toe Madeira. Well, people are going to be begging you not to predict them to win at this rate, Jens, because it's going horribly wrong. Gazelles coming forward again. Clearly, you're right. Ryan has lost the plot. There's a long way to go. Martin's saying his team are going to win 10-0, but crucially, at the halftime whistle, they are winning 1-0. And well, the one shot, one goal is all it takes for Gazelles at times.
Buffon masterclass once again, maybe.
Yes, Buffon, who has been widely criticised by his manager in recent weeks. Let's have a look. He's actually performing not too bad if you were to look at ratings. However, I'm sure there'll be a message coming through saying it's all his fault. Nicky Butt's still the pick of the players, unsurprisingly. And it's just the attacking players, really. You're looking there and thinking they need a bit more. It's Ryan who's come straight in, blaming Buffon for his performance. When you see the subs, Ryan, in my opinion, has picked a very defensive-minded bench. I think his view is that if he had to replace Shevchenko, Ronaldo would play there.
I think I'd bring Rui Costa in for Preston, to be honest.
Is that what
he's not been involved at all in Rui Costa's. It's a little more attacking dimension to him.
And that's exactly what Ryan's doing. Rui coming on from Prutton.
Good sub.
Let's have a look at the away side then. This could be a crucial... I mean, this is a big... If this result stays like this, it's big for all the playoff chasing teams, obviously, but this could be crucial for Martin and confidence at the Gazelles, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would be 3 huge points, no matter what the circumstances. If you beat Fulchester away from home, it's a fantastic result.
He was reluctant to even let Richie Wellens play, and he, despite the current position, he's not playing very well. But then you consider he's in the centre of midfield on his own against Veron and what was Prutton.
Richie Wellens is a player when you get promoted to the Premier League, you don't use him anymore. He's just Duggan has a weird man crush on him. So I'm not surprised he hasn't done anything. I still think he's been dealt a very rough hand, to be honest. I don't think his squad is really good. But I mean, they've been in the game, and if they can hold on, then this is massive and well done for taking the lead at least.
Well, Wellens has come off at half-time for George Boateng as we kick off the second half. Fulchester starting quickly again, looking to level their things up, so they've got plenty of time to look for a winner. But still, Gazelles hold firm.
Ryan is now blaming the game engine.
It's everyone but Ryan's fault. Past the hour mark and still 1-0 to the away side. It looks very much like Fulchester are dominating, but Gazelles do just come forward every now and then, just reminding them that they are capable. It's Karagounis with the attempt, but it goes very high and very wide. But Veron, Beckham, Rui Costa, Barthez save. Nedved can't miss. Nedved misses the target. Quality. Everyone's favourite bit of text commentary when someone can't miss. Boateng gets a yellow card for shoving Veron. Beckham looks to take the free kick. Barthez manages to save and clear, but here they come again. Shevchenko, another save from Barthez.
Yeah,
getting like Barthez a man possessed tonight.
Yeah. It's been a fantastic signing. It's been one of the best keepers in the Super League in this alteration, at least.
Absolutely. And well. Fulchester 0, Gazelles 1. And I'm going to predict that Barthez is man of the match.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, well done, Martin. You're still not the best Viking, but that was impressive, really. I would never have guessed.
Does that
even though you've clearly been a little bit lucky.
Does that constitute a champing?
If I were Fulchester manager, I would definitely say it was a champion.
if you're Macca right now, if you just turned to Ryan and punched him?
Probably, and then the computer would have been gone as well, I think.
Let's have a look at the home team stats first. They got 9s across the pitch and everything. Veron and Nicky Butt dominating in midfield. Buffon, he performed relatively well. Melito, Hippier look fairly strong in defence. I mean, they haven't really done anything wrong there, Fulchester, apart from not score.
No, I mean, they've Ginger Beckenbauer and number 6 there is doing what he always does. It's their attackers letting them down, and of course, probably the Gazelles goalkeeper Barthez having a perfect game.
Let's have a look at the Gazelles team. There is Barthez with his Man of the Match award. There is a nice sort of poetic justice to the fact that it was the 2 former chairmen of the league going head to head in this one. So I'm sure Martin will take extra pleasure from that. You mentioned what a signing Barthez was, and you're right. He has been one of, if not the best goalkeeper in this version of the Super League, and possibly even before, thinking longer back. And he is going to be a massive player for Gazelles if they're to challenge getting off the bottom. Okoronkwo as well with a good performance. Madeira with a morale boosting goal as well. And all in all, it wasn't perfect, and at times it wasn't pretty, but it's exactly what Martin needed.
It's exactly what he needed, and the right players performing as well. I think Barthez. I mean, he pretty much won Lokomotiv Boston the Super League season 1, and it's been rock solid ever since. So that's to get him in is fantastic. And it's got some. I don't really like his squad, but it's got some quality players there. Dede, Madeira, Okoronkwo, as you said. So something to build on, and confidence booster, and well done, Martin.
And we keep reiterating how tight the league is, how this is the most competitive league in the world. And Swan there, with an absolute legendary stat, in the last 2 games, 40 predictions, only 1 correct. Unbelievable. Ryan saying, congratulations, Martin, biggest win of your champ career. The game engine's desperate for us to play your game, but it's not time yet. Let's go to Haggis, who are away to Northern Burn, and an interesting setup, this one by Ian. I mean, the tactic looks very similar, but with Encanto continuing to dominate both the movie and the music charts. Bruno is in. He keeps his place. Alan Smith and Vasilyuk playing as a 2 this time. What do you make of that pairing?
I like both. I think both are Smith, a couple of seasons in, is really good, even though he's a little bit hot and cold. He can get you 2 or 3 goals a game and then go 4 or 5 games without scoring. But that's better than, for example, Hernan Crespo, who can go 10 games without scoring. I like that he's put McBruno in again. We don't talk about Bruno. He's an exciting player. Stats in the right places. And I think putting Giggs out wide is a smart move. I know he was reluctant to do it as he wanted to play Ashley Cole, but I think he's better there than as a attacking midfielder. So it's a decent setup. Not sure it's going to be enough to take points tonight, but
they are yet to win against Northern Burn in this save.
Yeah. So yeah, Northern Burn is definitely favourites, and they come off a solid win as well. So
and does Ian have a nice little song to listen to?
Let's see. Yeah, he has. I think so. Yeah. Okay, so it goes like this. He's a jock. He's a jock. He's a proper jock. Trolls the Tinder with an infectious cock. He's a proper jock.
Superb stuff. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will be downloading that, and I'm sure already Greavesy and Rob are typing the lyrics up, replacing the word "jock" with "joke" as well, for their own amusement. Let's have a look at Burn, who are without Vieira today. So Keane moves back, Guerrero moves back, and Lopez comes into the attacking position. So if anything, Vieira being suspended has made Burn even more attacking.
Yeah, it's not much to be said about Burn that hasn't been said before. They've been a little bit up and down this season, but they're still around where they want to be. And that team is just extremely, on paper, extremely good. And he's got them ticking for 2.5 seasons in a row now. So, yeah.
So your
impressive side.
So your score prediction for this one, please?
I think Haggis going to score with that duo up front. So I'm going to go 2-1 Burn.
2-1. Ryan predicting 6-0 to Burn. Alf saying 2-1 to Haggis.
I'm gonna miss this half because I'm gonna go and get another beer.
You go get yourself a beer.
There's more
we
left.
We will watch the first half of
Thanks,
this
mate.
exciting game at the Furnace. Burn look to have started the quickest, but Haggis are coming forward themselves now. A couple of set pieces. Failed to take advantage of them though. Another yellow card handed out by Mr. Hester. 36 minutes now on the clock. Sigalko, Robin, all the names that One Eye Ian will be hoping to see. Giggs, Bruno, as Two Eyes Ian's team look to end the half strongest, but we finish on 0-0. And Haggis have created plenty. Burn with the more efficiency, but neither side managing to actually score. Headers fairly equal, both with decent pass completion. Tackles, both will be arguably wanting a little bit more from their teams. Having a look here at the home side first, and Guerrero not really enjoying himself in the more withdrawn position, but other than that, Contra having a fantastic game out wide, and largely very good from Northern Burn. They just need a little bit more, and you'd imagine they will be just fine. Haggis themselves, again, similarly, the strikers, it is letting them down. Although, considering the amount of shots they've had, none of them are by the strikers. So perhaps either attempts from set pieces or shooting from distance, it has been the message from the Haggis boss. As Jens joins us just in time. So the story, mate, is Haggis have been creating. Northern Burn have arguably been the better side, though, and it's 0-0.
Yeah, so I didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss anything. One Eye Ian, as in Northern Burn, has said as is. So we're just waiting for Two Eyes Ian to confirm that he wants as is, and we will kick off the second half.
I've had a blunder here. I bought 18 beers today. I bought 12 for tonight, and then 6 for tomorrow because I'm going to get some hours free from family duty to watch football. But I'm now on the last 6-pack, so I'm gonna have to go to the store tomorrow with a banging headache.
So you're already into tomorrow's beers?
Yeah. I tried speaking to my wife I can hardly speak Norwegian, so this is a test for me. It's nice.
Palermo's coming on at halftime for Haggis. He's replacing Vasiliuk. Other than that, it is unchanged. Ryan saying Maka hit him with a right hook and now he's covered in blood. And there's an injury early in the second half for Northern Burners. Kevin Hoffland's had to go off. That won't be too much of a concern, though, as Jens Novotny, Super League winner, I think 2-time Super League winner, actually, if not 3-time, actually thinking about it, because he was there when Bern won it last year. So possible 3-time Super League winner Jens Novotny is likely to be the one called on. I'll just wait for Ian to confirm that's what he wants to do.
I don't think there's any need to wait for that.
Well, you never know. You never know. It's always safest. There we go. Confirmation is through. We can kick off and see where the action takes us. Northern Burn, it was finding some space there, but here there's Bruno and Palermo. It looks like Haggis are very much in this.
Yeah,
and
impressive first hour.
Looking to cause trouble.
Definitely.
70 minutes now on the clock as Robin comes forward. And Lopez, Casillas has pulled off a couple of fine saves. Novotny from the set piece. But Powie gets a clear. 76 now on the clock. It looks like Burn are ending the game the strongest. And there is the goal for Northern Burn. And it was Sigalko with it on 77 minutes. As a sigh from Jens there. The inevitability of Burn scoring and it being Sigalko. Into the final 10 minutes. Here they come again. Bruno nutmegs Novotny and he's coming forward. But they don't manage to maintain the ball. And now here come Burn themselves looking for a second. A second absolutely kills this game off. But still Haggis trying to create something. 35-yard pass to Smith doesn't come off. Here they come again. It's Giggs. Still Giggs. Trying to do it all himself. And will Haggis now get caught on the break? Ian's already given up and congratulated his opposite number.
Mind games.
Mind games. Sigalko with the last chance of the game. He misses, but his goal is the difference as Northern Burn come out 1-0 winners in a very, very even Northern. I think Haggis dominated the first half, Byrne dominated the second, and it was just one goal separated them.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it fits very well that we didn't sing the Byrne song before the game, because it goes like this: "Don't worry about a thing, 'cause Maxim Segalko is gonna bag again, saying don't worry about a thing, as certain as the Hools will never get a pen." And he bagged.
He did indeed. Very apt. Cannavaro getting man of the match for his performance. Toldo, I mean, look at these ratings throughout. 7, the lowest anyone got, but there's 3 players there on 9s. There's another 4, 5 on 8s. Incredible levels that Byrne managed to churn out so consistently.
Yeah, this is what we see. I mean, week in, week out, especially from the Devils. We hardly ever see a 6. Yeah, it's just testimony to the quality of his squad and the way he set them up. A fantastic side that has to be counted on to go to the last stages of the playoffs.
No, absolutely. Very well done to Ian. And commiserations to the other Ian, whose side put in a valiant performance. They just weren't able to hit the same levels. Mike Duff putting in a good performance, Giggs as well, Walter Samuel. But other than that, they just weren't quite able to hit that same heights as Byrne. They just didn't have that same amount of quality in them.
No, and I think looking at those numbers, I think they probably didn't get the players they wanted finishing the chances off. Smith with 0 shots, Vasiliuk with 0, Palermo only 1, not hitting the target. So it's not the strikers finishing the chances off. That probably cost them tonight.
Completely agree. No, we still don't want Hools Dragons. Let's go to Devils next. So that we've seen all of their closest opposition. We've seen Bostock, we've seen Fulchester, we've seen Byrne. So let's see what the Devils can do. They're at home to Dudley in a battle of 2 top 6 sides. And they go, from memory, unchanged. Yeah, they are unchanged. The crucial team news from them is that Zauri is back from his 3-month injury, and he's back in the first team and ready to resume action. Obviously, Hodgie didn't fancy him tonight, but I'm sure he will be back, possibly for the Gazelles game next time out, or if not, almost certainly the Bostock game after that. He'll be a big return for the closing or the second half of the season, won't he?
Yeah, looking at that team, and I was about to say, why would you change anything? And then I seen Zauri he's back and he's not in the squad, and Montero is still gonna go in for Ayala. So it's a fantastic side.
Absolutely. Barry Ferguson continues to captain the side. Harry Kuehl, who when Hodgie first took in, he really didn't want to play, but he's made that left wing back slot his own again, very much like they did in the title winning season. There's a lot of the old guard still about, but slowly but surely the side is morphing. You now got Amar and Henri now as AMs go. Are they two? Is that one of the better looking partnerships?
Yeah, with the way he's got Armar playing, hasn't been setting the world on fire for the other sides. Has been in this alteration, but been really good, at least last season for Hodgie. Henri is a big game player in the game. Can give you a run of 6s and 7s when it doesn't matter, but knowing he's going to go to the playoffs, Henri can be a game changer and win him the whole thing. So I think that's a clever signing from him.
And something we've mentioned before, and a similar story with other teams, Bostock one in particular, but Soroczynski becomes a crucial player for Hodgie, and he's very much a Hodgie player, isn't he? He takes him wherever he goes.
Yeah, understandably so. I think I said that a couple of weeks ago as well. He's getting to that age now where he's probably one of the best defensive midfielders in the league, in my opinion. So he's pure quality, and Van Bronckhorst as well is a kind of an unsung hero in this alteration. Been solid throughout.
Yeah, he gets very good numbers. I mean, look at some of the numbers in terms of assists he was getting. The title winning year, 11 assists. He got 5 last year. He's already got 2 this year. He's got very high average rating every year. Very consistent is Van Bronckhorst and doesn't really get spoken about.
Did you
Mainly
play him? Did you play him at the MC? Sorry, mate. Did you play him at the MC mainly in the title-winning season?
I had him at left. I had him in the left wing back slot when Kuehl was playing in attacking midfield, or I had him playing
Yeah,
centrally if Kuehl was in the wing back spot.
yeah. That's impressive numbers. It's almost to assist every other game from a defensive midfielder.
And does Hodgie have a song?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Yeah. Mr. Hodgie is a devil. Mr. Hodgie is our coach. Mr. Hodgie just couldn't resist when the champions approached. La 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 la.
Very,
Fifing out
very nice. And
dancing.
what I like is you're also doing them all to different tunes. Not one has had the same tune so far.
Yeah, maybe not. It's possibly a couple of them the same, but it's due to
Not
my
so far.
lack of creativity.
No, not so far. As for Dudley, Steam mixes it up this time. And he's gone free up top, as we saw earlier. We've got Lizarazu and Zanetti. You mentioned the importance of having good fullback stroke wing backs. I think they're a decent pairing as well. What do you make of this team? Is it brave to change it up this much when playing away at Devils?
I think if you want to try something and you want to change it up, then this is the game to do it. To be fair, I don't think Steve's got high expectations of getting anything from this game. And I guess one way to have a shot at getting something is trying to overload the attackers. Because if you play player to player against the Devils away from home, I think you're going to lose 9 out of 10 games. I'm really, really pleased that Dudley's been so good so far this season because I have a lot of time for Steve. I think he's a brilliant guy and he puts a lot of effort into it. I'm not 100% sure I would have done the business he did. But yeah, hopefully it works out. And as I said, big fan, and hopefully he can stay in that top 6 and not let his doomsday thoughts destroy him. Yeah.
He hasn't had a win in 6 games against any Devils squad under 2 different managers. Do you think that will play on his mind?
I don't know. I don't. He has some points against them at least. I think I have 0 points against you lot. Fucking horrible to play. No, I don't think he has high expectations. I think it's the right call to try and change it up if it's something he wants to try. I don't think it's gonna. I have to bet on the Devils tonight.
Well, before you do, does Steve get a song?
Dudley Hill. Let's see. Steve Wright is back. Steve Wright is back with his big nutsack. Steve Wright is back.
Brilliant.
Away fans are chanting it now as the players come onto the field. Actually,
you said Devils, or you said you would have to bet with the Devils. Have you got a score prediction at all?
3-1.
Alf has gone 3-0. Let's kick off, and Pens are very much in the action early. Looks like plenty of chances from the Devils in the first 5 minutes, but failing to score. Dudley are in danger of being completely overrun in this first half, especially if Devils can get a goal, because it's all the home team at the moment. Dyer getting involved, half an hour on the clock, still 0-0 remarkably. Zanetti going in the book. 10 minutes going until half time. Amar this time with a chance. This looks very, very dominant for a team that hasn't scored. And are they going to get caught on the break? Dudley with the last chance of the half. They miss it, and it's 0-0 at half time. And it didn't look that close to me in the text commentary. Devils did create more chances, but failing to convert, which is unlike them.
They've been wasteful. I can see this going one of two ways now. Either Dudley can somehow hold on and manage a kind of a champion and get a result, or we get a Impensa goal early in the second half and the Devils run ragged.
No, that's exactly the way I see it as well. Although I did notice there that their Devils' tackle percentage isn't particularly high. So if Dudley can break on the counter, they very much stand a chance. Looking at the individual stats, we mentioned a few of the players in the build-up. Van Bronckhorst has been the pick of the bunch. Ryan saying, "Come on, the Devils." He's needing help after his result earlier. Aymar, not his usual level of performance at all, and Harry Kewell a bit quiet tonight as well.
Yeah, I suspect this is gonna look different after 90 minutes though. They're getting players involved and they see a lot of the ball. So if they get a goal, I think they can easily get a couple of more.
No, definitely, and we know Hodgie is working nights at the moment, so he isn't able to watch this. Unsurprising to see the Dudley keeper getting an 8 at half time. I mentioned that their wing backs would need a solid performance, and they are getting that from them at the moment. Addo as well putting in a very strong performance. Defensively, they're looking good, Dudley. It's the attacking area. They just need a bit of improvement.
Yeah, but that's got to be good reading. The defensive players are doing well, the goalkeeper is doing well, and they still to get the attackers on the ball a lot, at least on shots. Tony's had 2 off targets, but yeah, it's football's as easy as that, isn't it? If they can keep solid at the back, then one of those 3 up front can get a chance, and then they can go on to win it. So yeah, they're still in it.
Just waiting for Steve to confirm if he wants to make any halftime subs. When you see that bench, there are options there. Would you be changing it slightly, or would you be going as is?
Possibly be going as is. I don't know if. I'm not a big fan of Mackay. Oh, boys. Yeah, well, Elmander.
Elmander's coming on for Danielson. And let's not forget, for those who are superstitious, Roy Mackay, formerly of Devils. And we know how many times former players come back to score against you. But it is Elmander who's been promoted from the reserve team to get his first competitive action of the season. So let's see if he can make an impression. As we kick off the second half, an early yellow card and Penza with an early chance still can't score. It looks like this half is going very much like the first did. And there is Penza on 58 minutes to make it 1-0. What have Dudley got in reply? 72 minutes on the clock. Yes, Elmander, another 5e favourite indeed. Dudley not really getting that foothold they need, not showing the attacking intent required. And it's 2-0, and it's the man that we both spoke about, Van Bronckhorst, with his 5th goal of the season on 78 minutes, surely wraps this one up. Here come Dudley, though. And Zanetti and Tony, fine save. And Tony again. And Cross is coming in, and Inzaghi, Frey making the saves, Nesta blocking. That was Dudley's best moments of the game, and they failed to score from it. Nesta's fouled. Elmander goes in the book. And there's an injury to Thierry Henry. So in the absence of Hodgie, Mokoku the obvious like-for-like replacement?
Yeah.
And we'll speed this up because Dudley aren't showing any signs of actually getting back into it. There is the full-time whistle as Ian Edwards asks, how has Elmander crept back into the Super League? It's finished 2-0 to the Devils, and really it could have been a lot more, couldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm actually wondering if the Super League has seen a side as dominant as this Devils team anytime before.
This is definitely the best Devils team of any that we've seen. This Devils team at the minute is better than the team that won it.
But is it better than or is it more dominant than all other Super League teams of all time? Because they're cruising through this league. They're like 15 points ahead of the rest. It's just
They're
impressive.
not dropping the sort of points. For example, the perfect example is if you look at Fulchester earlier, Devils don't drop points in that game.
No, they don't. They just tick on and win and win and win. And they're so solid as well. I mean, they got two class players not playing today, and you wouldn't think that looking at that 11.
Yeah, when
It's just
you
really,
think this
really
team,
impressive.
this isn't the strongest 11 yet, it is scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's scary, and it just goes to show that the Devils they have to be, no matter how good Bern, Fulchester, Bostock can be, the Devils have to be huge favorite for their
Ryan
title.
asking or pointing out that perhaps Bolton Phoenix were more dominant than this Devils team. I mean, I don't think so personally.
I didn't know Bolton Phoenix had won the Super League. I never heard that or read that in the chat ever before. So that's new to me.
The man that we were talking about and the man who sealed the game, Van Bronckhorst, getting the much-deserved Man of the Match award. You were right in saying that the stats certainly don't look how they looked at half-time. Ryan saying fucked around for half a season and never lost. Steve trying to back him up at this point. But I believe the news was that Hodgie had broken the Devils' record for wins in a row after the last one, and I think he's right in saying that he was 2 away from matching his own all-time Super League winning run record. So he's now 1 away from matching his own record after this one.
Was that in this alteration with Ledgersford when they went on
No,
that?
that was with was it Ardsley Celtic they were called before? I'm sure he won something like 9 or 10 in a row with them, and still failed to achieve anything with them really.
Yeah, 9 on the run, I think he wrote.
Greaves saying Ryan talks more history than a United fan. Not bad stats. Still, the defensive players getting decent ratings. But really, Elmander came on and had an absolute mare. But really, it was a case of Devils were just far too strong for Dudley, weren't they?
Yeah, knowing Steve is on a couple of bad results lately, and he's gonna tear himself up for it. But in this game, isolated away to Devils, I think you don't look too much into it. I think you face a side superior to yours, and you gave it an effort, and okay.
Ian saying Hodgie's had more clubs than Jack Nicklaus. Are we concerned for Steve? We've said for weeks and weeks now how well he's done to get in the position he is, but you're right, they've had a couple of negative results recently. Are we about to see Steve spiral into complete madness as we've seen in previous seasons?
No, I hope not, because I mean he still got plenty of points on the board, and he's still way in with a shout, and it's been good. Just a bad run of form, and hopefully he can keep it in the solid base that he's been playing this season, and it's going to come.
That brings us to the penultimate game of the evening. Spartak Sloths entertaining Locomotive Boston. Two of the characters of the league for sure, and two interesting teams here. So Sloths keep the same tactics. Van der Vaart comes in for his debut, and Rakoba, who was one of the reserve swaps, he also starts in place of Kavanaghi, who's been dropped to the reserves.
What's that tactic name? You're playing local, mate.
The tactic name is Fuck the C-Suite. It has been since he employed it three games ago. Yes, since he employed it for the free draw with Fulchester. He then got a 1-0 win with it against Dragons. So let's see what he can do against Locomotive Boston. What do you make of the 11?
I'm not going to be boring and say the same thing as everyone. The Slots have a bad squad and everything. It's not my favorite squad on paper, but it's one of my favorite managers. Doing bits with players not. I mean, there's a lot of players in that squad not very popular with other managers in the league. Yeah, you're clicking at Matty Holland. He's playing him at right wing back and is doing an amazing job.
The B&M Kieran Dyer.
Yeah, he is. I think by the business is done now in this winter window, which I really appreciated you doing, Fife. I think it was a really good thing. What he's done is he's made his team look a little bit more solid defensively with that DMC duo he's got there. I'm a big fan of Kalushny, and obviously NDIA is a monster. Yeah, and that left wing Joe Cole arrow up to striker position seems to have worked so far. So it's nice to see managers doing something different, and Rob always does that. So it's
And
big
I'm
fan.
very much looking forward to hearing Rob's song, if we may.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Robbie Marshall is the slots man, the king of Southwest. He hates Loco Boston and all of the rest. He loves a big wedgie and Barrymore too. The people's champion, you know it is true. La 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 la.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, that one. And I'm sure you'll appreciate. The only thing I don't agree with is King of the Southwest, because there's a former Super League winner who originates from the Southwest who very much takes exception to that.
You have to remember it's the slots faithful that's been writing this shit.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
They're
makes
not the
sense.
most clever people in the world.
Anyone who supports the Sloths isn't one of the most clever people in the world. Let's give Van der Vaart number 5, just to be different. As for Loco, they make changes as well. They bring in the Diamond Evo formation, and Simone Inzaghi has been plucked out of obscurity of the reserves. I don't think he's had any Super League no Super League game time in this version of the save, and then all of a sudden he's partnering Montella up front for this game with Cassano, who's also been brought up from the reserves, playing in support.
Has Greavesy lost it? That's my question. Looking at this, what is this? What is this? It looks like he's playing. It looks like he's playing Tetris.
Not a fan, then, no.
No, not a fan. What's those arrows? They're just running up, slapping each other in the ass. I'm knowing him. He's got some crazy, cynical player instructions, closing slots down and winning 1-0 in the overtime by a Montella goal. But come on.
Well, I know that he's. It's not giving much away to say that he's focusing a lot of his attention at the moment on the capabilities of Rio Ferdinand. It's a big focus for him at the moment. Having seen both teams, then can I ask you for a score prediction before, and then we'll ask for Greavesy's song, because that could be a classic as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's Greaves, isn't it? 1-0 to the Loco. Boring 1-0 to the Loco.
Dimble was described the tactic as horrible. Alf's gone 2-1 to Loco. Let's have you on the pitch for this one then, to belt out the Loco manager's song.
Let's see. Oh, Peter Greavesy, you are the love of my life. Oh, Peter Greavesy, I'll let you shag my wife. Oh, Peter Greavesy, I want 14 toes too.
Wonderful. Let's kick off the penultimate game of the evening, and let's see what both sides have about them. Big game for both teams as well, given some of the results tonight. A lot of action, if not a lot of chances in the opening 10 minutes, plenty of text. And it's Shearer on 11 minutes who opens the scoring for the home side. Simone Inzaghi with an opportunity there and another one. but fails. I think that was Rio Ferdinand, who's gone in the book by Mr. Palmer. Cassano getting involved, Scholes, Zambrotta, and it's 1-1, and it's Inzaghi on his debut. Unbelievable scenes as Simone Inzaghi scores on his Lokomotiv Boston debut, and there is the half-time whistle, 1-1. Fairly even, Sloths perhaps shading it, but Loco have goal scorers in their team, and this is what Greavesy does.
Yeah, conceding is, probably now in this season one, he wouldn't have conceded.
No.
And he would have scored a goal in the 90th minute, wouldn't he? It's as expected, really, isn't it? Pretty close. Slots attacking and Boston joining the dance. Look at the sun and the eye.
That was the first thing that stood up. Ryan saying the game's gone. I think he's referring to Inzaghi scoring. But yes, the first thing that stood out to me was Ndiaye there. What a first half performance that is.
Yeah, it's what we're used to seeing, isn't it? Good to see Shearer continuing his decent form. I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to do anything at halftime. Usually swaps a striker, but it's only playing one now. So and Shearer scored. So
I mean, he
he'll
was
be
in the
just
chat earlier. I'm not sure if he's even still here. To be fair.
No.
But we will give him opportunity if he is. Let's have a look at what Greaves' side are doing. I'm sure I saw Ferdinand, if not a couple of other players, getting yellow cards. Hang on. But only Shearer seems to have been issued with one, according to the stats. Just looking through here, Montella's actually been quite quiet. And the centre-backs, you can't say they haven't had anything to do, so it's a bit of a surprise to see them rating so low.
But it's just boring, isn't it?
It is. It's
boring.
Just
boring Loco. Good old boring Loco, and they're probably going to win this game as well. Very shite.
We'll give both managers just 30 more seconds to confirm if they want to change anything. I would say who does a draw suit more, but I would suggest if it was to stay like this, it suits the other teams looking for playoff places, doesn't it?
Yeah, suits pretty much everyone else than those two.
Loco have come in with a change, and Cassano is coming off, Figo coming on.
Yeah, understandably.
Let's kick off the second half then, see if we have more goals, more drama in this penultimate game. Sloths starting the quickest, have a couple of opportunities, including a rebound there, failing to convert. And now Loco come forward themselves, a couple of set-piece attempts. And it's Shearer, with his 5th of the season, makes it 2-1 to the home side. We slow the commentary down for the last 20 minutes. What do the former champions have left in them? Rivaldo and Cole playing it amongst themselves. And Ndiaye with a chance, but it's saved into the final 10 minutes now. Too much time for Greasy's liking going by without anything happening. Scholes picks it up. Figo smashes it low, but he misses the target completely into the last 5 minutes before stoppage time. And now injury time. And one last chance, maybe. Scholes, Cole into the area. Rivaldo hits the side netting. And there is the full-time whistle. And it is Sloths who pick up a much-needed 3 points. And I would say, based on what I saw in the text commentary and those stats, deservedly so.
And Mr. Peter Greaves will probably never hear the end of it. Rob Marshall will be jumping around in ecstasy after watching this.
Let's have a look. Joe Cole picking up man of the match for his performance, despite Shearer's 2 goals, both rating 10 out of 10 tonight. You were right saying that Joe Cole's position with his arrow, something that not a lot of managers do, is certainly proving fruitful at the moment.
He's had a fantastic game, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Excuse me. Some congratulations messages coming in for Rob already. Rakoba came in, as I said, from the reserves. He failed to make an impression. But other than that, I mean, Babayaro on the left put in a decent performance as well. whatever 9 rated. Van der Vaart on his debut, not really making too much of an impression. But at the end of the day, Sloth's won, so Rob, I imagine, will be very happy looking at all of this.
Very, very happy. And Shearer as well, putting in a quality performance. I mean, hitting almost all of his passes, winning tackles, winning most of his headers, all shots on target. Really, really good performance.
Bruzzi did well for Loco. Zambrotta putting in a very good performance as well. But other than that, it wasn't, like you say, it was just kind of average and boring from Loco. They never had that intensity. You never looked at them and thought, if it wasn't for the fact they were Loco and that's what Greasy does, you never really looked at that and thought they're going to get something here.
No, I don't think you're going to see that Tetris tactic again. I think it's just if it grieves it, just go back to doing what you know works. Just be a defensive asshole and just grind out results and get to the playoffs, and then try to shut teams down and see how far it can get you.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to Rob, and that brings us to the final game, which Ryan has called in the chat an absolute dosser game. We'll look at the away side, your opponents first, and this is what Jamie has come up with. Ignore the tactic name because he sent a message saying, I've called it haggis by mistake. I know we're playing Halls. But the team he's quite content with. Edgar Davids in that crucial centre midfield position. Raoul and back supporting Cliver is a very strong and interesting looking attack. Lazens have been playing a lot recently, but he's dropped to the bench. So Saeed and Gattuso in the holding midfield positions. Vardenkov and Baumer in the all-important wing areas. When you see this team on paper, does it concern you?
Yeah. It looks stronger than what I've seen Dragons so far this season, to be honest. I think this looks extremely, extremely good. I'm going to hope for a Chiotis shit show to get a win here, I think.
And do you have a song prepared for Jamie?
Yeah, I do, actually. Let's see. There's so... No. Which melody is this? Yeah.
Which one, sorry?
There's only one Dick. There's only one Dick. Jamie Hopkins. There's only one Dick. All the others left. All the others left. Dragons HQ. And the team is still boo.
Very nice ending. I like that. Ryan continues to take shots at you, Jens, saying, imagine being that insignificant you get mistaken for haggis.
I'm not the one with a 100% loss record of the team I'm involved with. It's got to be some sort of Super League record.
I find it very interesting that you have almost, well, I mean, if you look at the points, they're completely level, but virtually identical records between the two sides going into this game.
Yeah, it's been pretty much two shite teams all over. Dragons has had one good season and two bad. We've had three bad. So it doesn't surprise me too much.
We have a look at your team with the tactic named Dragon Slayer. Vogel suspended is the important team news, and that sees Dalmat make his debut.
Yeah, I had to... I'd sent tech file before the pack because I thought I had Vogel already as well. Didn't know he was suspended. That's a shame because he's been one of my best players. Dalmat's never had a shot, so I thought, let's try him. Converting to one DMC as I want Milevski to be a little bit more active, throw himself in. Hopefully those two in the center of midfield can overrun Davids, and hopefully Crespo can get on the score sheet again and we'll have a shot.
And we mentioned when we looked at Dragons, I said Raoul and back supporting Clivert looks strong. Collins and Brozek supporting Crespo looks equally as good.
Yeah, Crespo's been hitting a bit of form recently, except from the last match. Brosak has been a big disappointment this season. It's one of my favorite players in the game, and in season 4 he should really be quality. He's been really bad, but I still have confidence in him. Know what he can do on a good day, and yeah, that trio can score goals. So hopefully they will tonight.
Well, Alpha said that Fabio Capello tells him Hull's 2, Dragons 1. I won't ask you necessarily to make a prediction. I'll just say good luck, as well
Thanks,
as saying
mate.
good luck to Jamie. And we will kick off the first half. Mr. Hester in charge of his second game of the night, so tiredness may mean he starts making bad decisions. A final game of the evening. And it's Halls with the first attempts, and then a shitload of time goes past with nothing happening. Another can't miss and does. As we approach half time, that was insanely quick. Insanely quick. You look the better team, but that's not the longest text bar in the world for first half of football.
No, it jumped to 45 for me without almost seeing any text, but it's
Mate,
lagging
it
a
jumped
bit, I
to
think.
45 with me without seeing any text almost. You have been the better side. Dragons haven't created anything. You've just not managed to put the ball in the net.
Oh, it seems like we've been dominating most parts of the game, yeah. Just not hitting target and getting enough clear-cut chances, but hopefully that can come in the second half.
Don't think I've seen Jamie in the chat at all so far this evening. We'll just have a quick look at their side. Defensively, a couple of decent performances. You mentioned you needed the goalkeeper to have a bad game. He seems to be having quite a good game. Saeed back in the team, having a decent game. Back up the other end of the pitch, being below average. As for yourself, the wide players getting some joy. The centre backs, as always, with these two playing well for you, and you just need a little bit more from the attackers. Dalmat maybe struggling a little bit. Well, I say struggling a little bit with fitness. He's only dropped 5% from where he started, but he did obviously play the reserve game midweek. Are you looking to make any alterations here?
Yeah, if it's alright, I would like to put young Boateng on for Dalmat, please.
Take on for Dalmat. Is that it? Just the one?
Yes, please.
No worries. And Jamie is here. Hello, Jamie. Hope you're enjoying the show. Zidane for back, please. So that must fill you with all sorts of confidence that Zidane's coming on.
He's gonna score. This is Hulls. Zidane's gonna score.
Okay. So both sides making one alteration at halftime, and Dragons do score, and it is Zidane. Mystic Jens has got one right tonight, and unfortunately for him, it's against his own team. The change has seen Dragons a little bit more adventurous, but Hull still look to be the better side in terms of creating chances and maintaining possession, but still too much. 10 minutes has gone by there with nothing happening. Zidane getting involved. Kandaya gets the ball, looks up, and he swings in a free kick, but it's a terrible free kick. Here they come again, Collins, but Lucio gets in the way. Free kick to Dragons. And now in the final sort of 5 or so minutes, it's a lot more yellow than it is black. Unfortunately for you, Jens, 4 minutes being added on. Brozek, Collins, Crespo, all the names you want to see. But another save and a corner, Kandaya to take, but headed clear by Volodenkov. We're into injury time now. There's a gap. And Brozek, brilliant save from the goalkeeper. Corner to be taken, punch clear. And there is the final whistle. An inspired performance, it looked to me, from Chiotis in the Dragons' goal. You were much the better team, just very, very wasteful in front of goal.
Yeah, it's been unfortunately the story of our season for so far for too many games. Well done, Hopkins. Well done, Dragons.
Much as it was when we looked at half time, some solid defensive performances throughout. And that's what's guided them through, really. They didn't create that much. You said Zidane was going to come off the bench and score. He did. He put in a decent performance. As for yourself, Lilian Thuram picking up man of the match. Both centre backs having excellent games. Both your wide players having good games as well. You want Milevski to be a bit more active. He certainly has been. It was just the attacking players really that let you down, Jens.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Boateng is on an 8. But yeah, Crespo only one shot, and it's off target. Collins, yeah, no, not good enough. Unfortunately, again, the better side stats wise probably, but that doesn't. No one remembers that when you count the points.
Ones at the top.
Yeah.
Well, commiserations, congratulations to Jamie. And that brings tonight's action to a close. Quick look back through the results. We had Leddersford winning 3-1 away at Bostock. Churchtown and Astor kicking us off with that amazing 2-2. Gazelles getting a 1-0 win away at Fulchester. We just saw Dragons winning 1-0 away as well at Halls. Burn getting a 1-0 win at home to Haggis. Sloths, it was that beat Loco 2-1, and Devils marching on with a 2-0 win at home to Dudley. Unlucky Jens, maybe a change of manager will sort Halls out, is the message from Ryan. Let's have a look at the league table. And it's 13 wins in 16 for Devils, sees them on 40 points, 10 points clear now of newly installed second place Northern Burn. Bostock Stanley a point further back on 29. Then we start to see a little bit of a gap as Fulchester drop to 6 points behind Bostock. Dudley a further point back on 22. Then Churchtown on 21. In the top 6 on goal difference only from Leddersford. Sloths and Astor a further point behind. Dragons and Loco both on 19, so they're within 2 points of 6th place. Then yourself, Jens, Halls in 12th, still only 4 points behind. In with Haggis also on 17, and Gazelles just slowly creeping up. Their second win of the season puts them on 12 points. They do manage to draw games. Winning is what they struggle with. They're still 5 points adrift of yourself and Haggis, though, so a long way to go for them. Let's have a look at what we've got in store for Sunday night. I don't currently have a co-commentator lined up, so if anyone would like to volunteer, please get in touch. We've got top versus bottom, I see in the middle of the screen, as Gazelles host Devils. You're away at Astor, Jens. Your immediate thoughts to that fixture?
We're going to have 8 shots, 5 on target. Astor's going to have 3 shots, 1 on target, and we're going to lose 1-0.
There is 11 days, it appears, between the games, so plenty of time for injured players to get fit. Dragons against Fulchester. I'm sure Macca
be interesting to see. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see on that if Macca will submit the team and win the game, or if he'll let his assistant try and screw it up again.
Dudley Hill hosts Northern Burn, 2 top 6 sides. We mentioned already Gazelles versus Devils there. Haggis versus Sloths. That'll be a good game in terms of entertainment value over the next 24, 36 hours or so. I'm sure both managers will be giving it plenty. And then look at that. Leddersford versus Churchtown. Mentioned when we saw the league table, separated only by goal difference now. Winner is in the top 6 at the end of the night. And then Loco host Bostock Stanley, the final game there. I will just flick through some player stats. Jens, have you got any sort of final comments before we conclude for the evening?
No, not really. It's been a pleasure to be on, as always.
Always enjoy having you on.
Just you're doing a fantastic job keeping this going, and it's just a pleasure to be part of the league. Always annoying when you lose, and it's not easy to take, but everyone can beat everyone, as today definitely showed. So 4 points off the playoffs is still not it's not impossible. And if the board actually, if my fucking board actually starts to do something and instead of just talking, then they can hopefully just sack me and I can get a new manager effect, the Sam Allardyce effect, and just bounce my way up to the playoff spots.
I've noticed Lee Bowyer has now overtaken Anelka for shots on target percentage. Lee Bowyer, of all players, now up in 90%. I mean, Anelka's 89 is still ridiculously high, but now Bostock have 2 players at the top of the list.
And look at Ginger Beckenbauer.
Ginger Beckenbauer, indeed. Jens, thank you very much again for joining me. Thank you for everyone in the chat. I appreciate it's 24 hours later than you're used to. So thank you for taking time out of your Friday evenings to spend with Jens and myself going through Super League. Time-wise, I'm feeling all right, so I'm going to work through after the show now, get the packs out, and then the next show, as I said, will be Sunday. But from me and from Jens, until next time from Super League HQ, it is a very good night.
Good night.